Today is the 13th day of June 2025. It's a Friday evening. A time check is 7:16 p.m. I didn't do anything. I was just on my bed today, just doing what I'm meant to do, watching YouTube, praying, journaling, and I'm about to read a book, but it just dawned on me to just, you know, record this, right? And oh, you see this life that we found ourselves in. It's very funny. Coming off the back of our last episode, which is cocky, confident, and audacious. Now, somebody had a problem with the word cocky, and my reply to him was anything in its extremity is bad. The right amount is always needed. So please go ahead to being confident, cocky, and audacious, and at the same time be open-minded. Don't allow people step on you, because the word preys on people that are empathetic. The word preys on weak people. So you need to be brave and you need to be courageous. Stop shrinking. You need to rise and do what you're meant to do. Maybe you're not the most loudest person in the room. Even as you are quiet, make sure that you really stand up for yourself, and you might not want to do it in the most confrontational way. Sometimes it will lead to confrontation, but what I'm demanding from you is for you not to shoot yourself in the foot by shutting your mouth, or when you're meant to speak, where you're meant to be speaking and you're observing. Yes, there are times you observe and just try to know where you can rise up and speak, but when it's time to speak, you better stand up and speak and say the things that are in your heart and the things you have observed, and give them a reason why they shouldn't be doing what they're doing, and be courageous enough to step away from any situation that threatens to dim you or dim your light, or strip you away of your humanity. But anyways, I wanted to talk about time, the importance of time. Each and every one of us in this life, we all have 24 hours in a day. God didn't do any partiality by giving any one of us extra time, be it a second, a minute, an hour, 2 hours. He didn't do any partiality. He gave each and every one of us the same 24 hours. Now, reflecting on my own life, I started thinking about this like May. I was speaking to a friend, and the realization just dawned on me. I'm the kind of person, I've said it before on this podcast, that I'm the kind of person that I obsess over people a lot. And yes, it could be tied to my need for people, my desperation for love, because of the way I see myself, because of the notion I have of having people around. I heavily obsess about people. So I could see a shining knight in with his armors. I don't even know whether that is the right expression, but I could see a tall, handsome glass of chocolated thing, and I've never spoken to him before. I've never had a conversation with the guy before, but now he's stuck in my brain and I can't erase him from my brain. And now I'm just thinking of how our children are going to look like, how the marriage is going to work, and it is the thing that wakes me up at night in the morning. It is the thought I sleep to. Now, there was this guy I liked. In fact, with everybody I've liked, there's something called limerence or infatuation. I'm not sure limerence and infatuation are the same thing, but they told the same line. And it is, wait, let me get a definition of both of them so that I can give a clear definition. Yes, I'm not talking about love, but I just want to talk about like how we focus on things that really don't serve us, how we waste our time on things that are not important, and time is going. Saying yes to things that we should say no to. Limerence, it is obviously the same thing. The state of being infatuated or obsessed with another person, typically experienced involuntarily and characterized by a long desire for reciprocation of one's feelings, but not primarily for a sexual relationship. Now, infatuation, I mean, they use infatuate for the explanation of limerence. So it should basically be the same thing, but infatuation is an intense but short-lived passion or admiration for someone or something. So they're almost the same thing, right? Heavily obsessing about say, having this strong desire, thirst, hunger for sometimes an idea of someone, not necessarily them even. So I would like a person, and waking up, what is in my head is, or how that person spoke to me, the kind of text they sent me, which I overthought, which I read a lot of meanings into, the tone of their voice, the mistake of them even touching my hands, and then me thinking that, oh my gosh, for them to have touched my hands, that means they really like me, and that means maybe I'll meet their mother, and she'll say, oh, what a great woman you are, and then he would whisk me away to Santorini, and we'll get married, and all the sweet nothings is going to whisper into my ears, and then the things that would happen on the night of the honeymoon, and then the children we're going to birth, and how we're going to live happily ever after. Now I spend close to 2 hours. That is just waking up. That those are the first things in my head, and maybe as I'm going through my day, oh my gosh, they have not replied my message. Why is it that they have not replied my message? I then wait, and then my whole day is spoiled because they're not replying my message, and I'm too egoistic and too prideful to even chat them up, because now it is going to feed into my desperation or my obsession. So I'm just going to just keep calm and just wait for them to freaking text me back. And now I'm now dreaming. I'm not trying to comfort myself that they really like me, because maybe they are busy, they're working out, they're working so hard to make more money, and therefore that's why they will not have time for me. I'm like, okay, trying to comfort myself, but then my day has been spoiled, because I'm also busy at work and I'm replying you. So does that mean you don't? So you're having like this conflicting thoughts of, they like me, they don't like me, they like me, they don't like me, and you have wasted like 4 hours allowing your thoughts circle around this particular obsession of yours. And one thing I noticed with my years of obsessing over people is that your creativity dampens, your creativity goes to the lowest ebb, because you can't think of anything new. You can't think of anything that gives you joy. The only thing that is giving you excitement are the figments of your imaginations, which are not real. It's this fantasy you have of this other person. Those are the things that are giving you joy, and those things are not creative. So maybe you're a creative person, you make a podcast, just like me. You make a podcast, you create content, you're a chef, you cook. There is nothing like you can't find excitement in those things you do because you're lacking creative ideas. So those kind of obsessions takes away time, it takes away originality, or takes away the joy you have for your own life, because guess where you are living now? You are living in your head. You are living in a fantasy land that doesn't exist, and thereby you're wasting more time. What exactly took me out of this cycle of thinking or obsessing over people that don't really give two F's about who you are? One day I was praying, and I asked the Holy Spirit, God, like at that moment, it's like a drug addict, right? Your fix is that imagination. That's what gives you hope. That's what gives you excitement. And sometimes your fix is also when that text message finally drops, or that like of your comment, or that like of your video, or that like of just their presence comes up again. It's like, I've gotten my daily dose of heroin. And just like a drug addict, it's not good for you, but you can't help it. I knew obsession, limerence, it wasn't good for me. And I prayed about it. I asked God, I beg, talk to me. What can help me stop this rubbish? And I said, just, it's almost a cliche and it doesn't make sense, but it happened to me. I went on, I was about to go onto my YouTube to, just scroll around and see what I could watch. And I told God, please once I enter this YouTube, let the first video I see speak to me through it. And the first video I saw, guess what? was this Christian girl talking about this same topic. You might say, oh, YouTube was listening to my conversation, Google was listening to my conversation. That could happen, but I could tell you one thing is that I needed liberation and I needed to free myself from that thought. I started listening to what she was saying, and I can't even, I've forgotten the name of the video, I've forgotten the name of the channel. Maybe if I look around for it, I'll put it in the description notes of this podcast. But I was just watching and listening to what she was saying, and my jaw dropped. I was just like, damn. And it made me understand the concept of time. It made me understand the concept of energy. How I've spent so much time, so much energy, creative energy, imagining things. I could tell you one thing for free, that Oscar ain't got nothing on me. If Hollywood gets a hold of the script I made in my head about I and this person, Jesus, they need to create another award show for me, because spectacular, extraordinary, eyes I've never seen, ears I've never heard, hearts, minds I've never conceived. The details of the script. And that is what I spend time, energy, and God, when I heard her speak, I can't really put my hands on the details of what she was saying, but I know that what she said really spoke to me, and I realized the gravity of how much time I spent ruminating on things that would never happen and ruminating on things that would never serve me in the long term. And I almost became angry with myself, because I know the kind of future I want for myself. I know the kind of life I want for myself. And should it be dependent on my desperation, on my need? What exactly was I trying to feed with these imaginations I had? I know I didn't think I could be loved. I didn't think I could be liked. I didn't think that, love like that could happen for me. I craved for love, and the only place love actually made sense for me was in my imaginations. And I can tell you that after I got that idea, of course I didn't stop my imaginations immediately. But whenever I caught myself about to enter that land, I say, Chiwendu, you better stand up from that bed and go and do stuff with your life. Because we have a whole list of things we want to do, of contents we want to create, of who we want to meet, of shows we are still yet to do, of interviews. You have a whole list of what you want to do with your life. And guess what? Obsessing over people in your imaginations is not one of them. You need to reclaim your life and reclaim your time. Another place where I realized that people waste their time, it's still in this love relationship thing, and this one I'm about to say is actually what made me want to record this. So of course, I work on radio and my voice is enchanting. It is beautiful. It is orgasmic to the people that listen to it. So of course, they would want to know who has this beautiful, amazing voice. I have a Facebook account. So that means I get DMs from people, ridiculous sometimes, heartwarming sometimes, and just out of the pocket sometimes. This particular person requested for my number, and the line I draw with making contact with anybody that is a stranger that I've never seen physically, that doesn't know me. The only thing you know about me is I work on radio, is for me to give you my number, because first of all, my WhatsApp is my thinking is my first frontier of privacy. My WhatsApp is the second one. Of course, you can, the things I post on my WhatsApp, I could hardly post on my Facebook or my Instagram. I can post my family on my WhatsApp. I can post like really private details of my life on WhatsApp. But hell no would I post it on Facebook or Instagram. More so Facebook, right? Because there are a lot of people there. There are a lot of people everywhere, but Facebook seems more predatory and evil. I don't know why. And I said, I'm not going to give you my. He asked for my number. I said, I'm not going to give you my number. That we chatting here on Facebook is not different from WhatsApp. So let's talk here. He said that since I rejected him, he has not been fine. I know what he's trying to say, and I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to emotionally blackmail me into finally budging to giving him my number, into finally, bringing down my boundaries to giving him my number. He said that he was pissed off by the rejection and he goes for what he wants. Oh, Jesus, I'm getting angry. He goes for what... I'm not getting angry because of what he said. I just remembered something someone else said to me that really made me just... I could not even understand human beings. Yesterday I was talking to my housemate about how, I'm sorry to say this, I love men, but a lot of the men I've been meeting nowadays have been getting on my nerves. And it is so disgusting to witness what some people could just say to another human being. I've always said this, I don't see gender. And I just don't understand why a man would act and do. I was almost angry at every man I ever met. But let's not digress. I might still share that story. This particular guy on Facebook was like, he goes for what? Let me not like paraphrase what he said to me. Now there are two men, but let me just say this. It's just like there are a lot of things to say. He said, I want to make a good friendship with you. I also love to meet you someday. I requested for your contact, but you refused. I am not happy since then. Then I said, oh, please be fine. It's just, a rule that I have. I think Facebook is already enough. He now said, I don't want to be ordinary friends here on Facebook with you. I want it to be beyond Facebook. I asked for it. I didn't even read that part. I want it to be beyond Facebook. I ask for it. Please stop rejecting my request. This is my number. He sent me his number. Then I was now like, I don't know what to say to you again. He now told me, I go for what I want. What pissed me off is rejection. I want you close to my side and life. I will be patient. I will patiently wait. I'll be patient enough and excited when my request has been granted from you. Thanks. And I can remember reading this and I was just like gobsmacked by the audacity. Of course, I said everyone should be audacious. Please be audacious, but this is not audacity. It is audacity. I don't even know what it is, but the nerves, remember I said in the last episode that people don't like it when people are audacious on their head. Yes, he was audacious, but you should respect people's boundaries too. Now, this is one guy's case. I'm coming to how all these things root together. There's another guy on WhatsApp. He met me at the radio station. He didn't know me from Jack. I'm very certain he doesn't listen to me, but he wanted my number. Yes, maybe I looked great on the day he met me, so he wanted my number. And I can remember asking him, do you know me from anywhere that you just asked for my number? He said, no, he doesn't know me. So I was like, you know what? I do not even have time to, start saying, oh, I can't give you my number because I don't know you from anywhere. Just collect the number. So I gave him my number. Now, this guy comes on WhatsApp to start introducing himself. He didn't call me the week he was meant to call me, so he called me a week later. And then he sent me a message saying that before he goes back to Abuja, he would like to see me. Maybe we can just sit out. How about that? And I asked him, sit out to do what? He said, my dear, I mean no harm, just a friendly sit out. And I told him, I did not say you meant any harm. I just wanted to know what it is for and why you want to sit out. Since this year started, I've been taking my spiritual life, my social life more seriously. I go out to more places. I'm willing to interact with people. Now, when I say my spiritual life, I started going to church more this year. And after church I strolled back to my house because my church is not really far from my house. I could take a bike, but I intentionally want to see the nightlife, after church, to see how Kaduna functions, especially by an hour after church. So I just trek back home. It is spiritual to me, it is unburdening for me, and it is therapeutic. It is therapeutic for me, so I always go back home. Now on my walks, cars come up to me to collect my number, and out of the goodness of my heart, I give it to them. Some of these guys text me, and I reply them. I try as much as possible to answer their call or reply them. Now, let it be known that my spirit, my heart yearns no to me when I'm giving them my number, because I do not want to give my number to you. It is very visible that you are so married. It is very visible that you're not meant to be out here on the streets looking for young girls to enter your car. But still, I give them my number just because I don't want someone to get angry, or I want to make everybody comfortable. Like, okay, Chebi is just number, let me give you the number. And I've even found myself hanging out with these guys. Now, hanging out is just, the sit out, the other guy mentioned. Just let's go to a restaurant and just sit down and talk and, discuss. And most times it is during the hangout that I will now ask you, are you not married? Why are you outside? Oh, I've done that before. I've asked them before. I think one or two of them. Are you not married? What are you doing outside? Should I tell you something? Number one, I never wanted to give my number out to any of these guys. Number two, the hangouts always turned out to be rubbish. It always turned out to be, at last, what your mind conceived it would be. That these people just want to sleep with you. One, that these people don't have anything reasonable to say to you, that they cannot even hold a sane conversation, that the conversations that you guys are possibly going to be having is conversations that further reinforces their myopic mindset of the society. A conversation that drains you rather than fills you up. A conversation that makes you wonder, Jesus Christ, why did I even leave my house? I could have been watching a great YouTube movie or reading a good book or just cooking or just having the time of my life at home. Every freaking time. I tell myself, let me just go. Everybody's saying that when we ever have a boyfriend, when we ever do this one, let me just try. Let it not be that I'm too stuck up. Or let it not be that I'm too serious. I hang out with these people and it becomes the same thing I was running away from. That it will never result to anything. Now, there was this particular one that, he made me laugh. He was unconventional. It was not like the other people that got my number. He made me laugh. He had new things to say to me. And I was really surprised that, okay, this is new and beautiful. And he asked to hang out. It was really convincing. And just to cut the whole story short, he invited me to the hotel, and naive me, thinking that we're going to meet in the restaurant in the hotel or in the lounge in the hotel, he told me to come up to his room. Keep it in mind, aside from the day he took my number, this is the first time we'll be meeting again. And you're telling me to come to your room. And guess what? My mind told me, Chiwendo, this is not just for you to come and talk. This is for you to come and do something that you cannot give. Why am I telling all these stories? I want you to know that the reason why I was giving people this number, these guys, these numbers, or hanging out with people that I knew would not make me happy, was because I felt the need to impress. I felt the need to not make anybody angry, to appeal to or to appease everybody. And guess what it took from me? Time. It took away time from me. Time that I could have used to create something. I used it to fly back, to go and meet somebody that I not have heard. Time. 4 hours of my time I could have used to do something really important. Maybe make a call to my mom or my siblings, or create something important to me, or finally wrap up that script I was writing. I used it to go out and have the most dreadful conversation. And in those 4 hours, you might end up being sexually harassed. I'm sorry I just put that in there. I've met with guys that felt the need they could touch me anyhow. Or I should give them a kiss because you bought me food. They're requesting for a hug because you bought me food. I'm saying this to say that your instinct and your time are very important. You meet somebody and your insides are telling you that this thing It will not go anywhere. But you better listen. Ask yourself, what are you feeding when you decide to hang out with that new guy that just collected your number? And what could you possibly be doing when you don't hang out with them? People pleasing. The Chiwendo of January 2025 could never ask, why do you want to sit out? The Chiwendo of January 2025 would never be firm on her boundaries to not give out her number because I want to please. Everybody should get out. Everybody should get out. There are instances that differ, but in that moment where everything in you is yearning, no, you better listen and use that time to go and do something else. And I always second guessed myself. I never thought that what my instinct was saying or or the decisions I made were right. Because not only was I looking to please the people wanted to hang out with me, I was also looking to please my friends or my family members or people around me that are always saying like, oh, you never go out or you never do this. I was like, let me give it a shot. And look at where we have always landed in the territory of crazy people. About the first guy that messaged me on Facebook, to give myself the benefit of doubt, I sent the screenshot of the messages to my friends. Let me just hear their thoughts. I already know what I want to do. I'm so blocking him because since this Facebook relationship is not enough for you, maybe you should, burn. And to the guy I told, what are you saying when you say sit out? Give me a reason why we should sit out. If you're looking to ask me out now. Let me tell you no. Ask me out now. Let me tell you that it will not work. It's not wasting our time, right? Let's not waste our time. Just tell me everything. And the crazy thing, there's not even the ground has not been softened yet. But you want to, leap into the deep ends. How does that even work? How? It is nerve-wracking to me to try to understand. Now, the other story that made me really angry, it's not about reclaiming time, but I just want to add it, just meeting random men. It is in this barren hour that I just met, and I was crazy men, right? I was telling it to my sister. My sister said, for a man to meet you on the road in his car and stop you to collect your number, best believe that's the way he is. Because tomorrow, or what I will say tomorrow is overstretched. That's just minutes after he collected your number, he's doing that to another person too. Best believe, right? Do you feel special when you're being stopped? You better not feel special, because 101 girls have gone through the same thing. This guy, I was going to church again on a bike, and I wanted to reroute to meet my friend and then go to church. And on our way, this guy, I told him I was going to XYZ place. I was on my phone. I needed to, reply somebody ASAP. And I looked up. He has passed the place. I said, oh, God, you have passed the place. You don't know the place, ni. He's saying, why didn't I look? I'm like, excuse you. You are the driver. And it is your duty to know the location the person told you. I say, okay, na me mess up because I should have known. I should be looking. I told him turn. At the point of telling him turn, a car stopped us. I said, excuse, I want to, talk to you. I first of all exhaled because this is getting so old in this Kaduna state. We were standing at a point. The car said, I want to talk to you, and then moved in front of us. This bike man could have just, drawn back, and then as I was telling him turn, he could have just, turned back to where I was meant to be going. But do you know what he did? He moved front and stopped exactly where this man's car was. And the man said, yapping every stupid thing in his mouth, saying, I really like you. I saw you. He's a very, a grown-ass man, and, he looks very much married. But let's not even get to that. And he asked for my number, and because I did not even have And another thing, the reason why I give them my number is because I don't have the strength to talk to anybody, and I don't have the strength to say no to you. Oh, you better start saying. One thing I'm trying to learn now, you better start saying no, because my own modus operandi is if you give me your number, no, if you call me after giving you my number and you call me, I'll just block you ASAP. There's no need of any dilly dallying or anything. And if you chat me on WhatsApp, I'll block you too. Let's double blocking. I just didn't have the strength to even talk or say no or say yes. I gave him my number and I told the bike man, turn. Do you know the next thing this bike man did? He said I should wait now. Now started speaking Hausa to the man in the car that the man should give him money. Hey, Jesus. I didn't, at that point, the anger was already bubbling inside my chest. Like, it felt like my chest was constricting, like they were seizing my chest. I said, okay. So when I told you to turn, you did not turn. And you are here collecting money from the man. Do you know what the man opened his mouth to tell me? That it is business. My nerves just clanged together. It was as if they were ringing bells in my head. Business. Emichi wendo, they were perpetual business. I was so furious. I say, this is what you call business, Azikwa. I look like a worker, a sex worker in your eyes, that you are using me to collect money from somebody. If you don't see how serious this is, then you need Jesus. Me, Chiwendu, is business to you. I was so angry. And it made me detest the men I was meeting at that point in my life. It happened last week. I was so angry. I said, you see this anger, I would unleash it on that man if he calls me. And guess what? He didn't call me. I said, thank your stars. Because if you called me, But anyways, I didn't even plan to tell all these stories. I didn't plan to. But here we are. All I'm just saying is, know what it is you want. You know what you want to do. You know what your body is feeling. You know what your spirit is telling you. You know what your heart is telling you. Never underestimate that. Never shrink it. And once you have conceived what you want, don't waste your time saying yes to it. Do not waste your time saying yes to it. Don't waste your time on BS. Don't waste your time on silly conversations. Don't waste your time on things that will drain you. Don't waste your time on men that you know would never align with your own values. Don't waste your time on that. You have seen them and your spirit have said, Mba, don't go. Don't go. And I have felt this a lot of the times that it has almost become a pattern that I refuse to put myself into it again. I almost even anticipate it. And I know it's like, you say it's trauma now. Yes, it is. It is. At this point, I'll tell you no. Of course, my legs will be trembling as I'm telling you no. But I'm sure happy I said no to you. The pleaser in me could never fathom that I was saying no to somebody or being firm with my boundaries. But I'm going to do it anyways. So refuse to say yes to BS and use your time wisely. Refuse to overly obsess over things that you know would never be yours. And refuse to give your time to things that you know would never make you happy. Refuse that, okay? Thank you so much for listening. And see you in the next episode, okay? Bye. Kisses.